So hi.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming over to Grace's place. Um, so I guess I should introduce you.
Yes, please.
Um, Actually, I don't really know how you got involved with the personal finance stuff. Maybe you should just introduce yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my name is Giannina Viruet. I talk a lot. I'm on YouTube recently, and I talk about personal finance, real estate, and DIY projects around the house. I got involved with personal finance, honestly, after graduating from school and being thrown out into the real world and learning that, money is not that easy to come by, and saving for things takes a really long time. And I just became like obsessed, is the only way I can put it, with learning as much as I could about how to save, effectively, how to save really fast, and how to like grow really fast, because it does take a long time to like get to the next level of wealth, really.
So
So
did you wind up like going to school for this or
no, dude,
no?
I was terrible in math. I was like the worst student in math, and everybody was like, oh, good luck, because I just couldn't get it. But I went to school for telecommunications, and I really took that degree because it had the least amount of math requirements. That's like not a joke. I sat down with the dean and I was like, so what do I have to do to graduate where I don't have to take a lot of math classes? And he goes, you should go into telecommunications. There's like 12 credits that you need for like a math type of course. I was like, perfect, I'll take it.
Did
So
you
that happened after.
those for you guys who are just tuning in and don't know, um, being an orgy is we actually went to high school together, and she was in my jujitsu class for a little bit
Yeah, before high school.
before high school.
Little.
That's how we met, and so I just saw her starting her YouTube stuff, and today we're going to be talking about the kitchen budget. And I've been trying to implement this into my channel because I really started my channel when I lost both my jobs because of COVID-19. Um, and being a chef, you actually have to know a lot of math. Like most of the
Yeah,
schooling for being a chef is math, which they don't tell you before you go.
couldn't do it.
um, so like being a chef, your job is come up with a menu, but it's also how do I make a great menu and save the most amount of money?
Right.
So, you were telling me you were doing a challenge
Mhm.
that when you were trying to save money where you didn't eat out at all.
Right.
Did you do that while you were saving? I've noticed from watching your other video. Did you
Yeah.
do that when you were saving at your parents or your mom's or
It was
after?
after. Yeah.
After?
Yeah.
So, can you tell me a little bit about that and what percentage of your budget was like your ideal for food?
Yeah. So I had already, bought my first investment property, and I was living in one of the units. And at the time, my boyfriend had moved in, and we were just having a ball. Like, we were going out all the time and eating out and ordering out. And then I started looking at my credit card statements, and I was like, hold up, like I'm overdoing it. Like, I'm spending like I have, some serious money. And I was like, I can't be spending this. It's not smart. I was just overspending for sure. So I told him, I was like, I'm going to go on a 30-day challenge to not eat out, and we're going to cook at home, and see how we do. I'm like, would you do it with me? And he was like, yeah. He was a little hesitant, but he was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And it was really hard. I'm not gonna lie. It was so hard because like we both work full time, and when you're out on the road, or, wherever your job is, and you don't pack a lunch, and you're tempted to buy something, and people think that, oh, it's only like $8, it's only $9. And if that keeps happening every day, it really does add up. So yeah, it was a hard reality that we hit, because like on day 3 we were both like, this is not easy. We're so tempted. He's like, all I wanted was a donut from Dunkin' Donuts. It's only $2 and like something. I'm like, don't do it. It was, it was 30 days of it. That was like day 3. We were struggling. So um, how much I was spending prior, I think I was spending, and this is a little embarrassing because this is even post budget Giannina. Like I knew better. And I think I spent like over $400 a month in just eating out. Now, if you think about it, a regular meal out is like, even for 2 people, based on where we live, it's like $60. Like you go out for a meal and you have a drink, and boom, it's like $60, and you're like, where did I spend $60? So yeah, we were definitely, and that we were both overspending. So it was like I'm, picking up the bill sometimes, and he's picking up the bill sometimes, and we were both overdoing it. So that was like, it was time to make a change.
So how did you like, what's your experience level in cooking?
I'm actually we're in cooking class together. Thank God for Mr. Huggins. I think about him all the time, especially when I make broccoli rabe, because he likes to blanch it, and I just always remember him like putting it in like an ice bath after he's like cooked it or something like that. Or
Blanch and shock, yeah.
yeah, and then you saute it in the garlic and the oil. But I love that class. I'm a pretty good cook. I can handle myself around the kitchen. I like to bake, and I've always liked cooking, so I was pretty competent in that field. So the food was good. The food was coming out. It was more like the prep and the actual like having to cook it and then having to clean afterwards, because like the cleaning is just, it's never ending.
Did you have a dishwasher in your first property?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a dishwasher here.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh my
thank
god. I was
God.
so happy to move into this apartment with
Yeah,
a
right?
dishwasher.
People don't realize how great a dishwasher is.
Oh my god. And
Thank
it
God.
it saves water too, actually.
Yeah,
So
I believe that. And then it steams everything. It's great.
so, um, what did you do to meal prep for your 30 days?
So we thought about, when people say meal prep and they have like designated meals, like in
Yeah.
containers. I don't like eating like that. I find that I'm so unmotivated to eat it, and I'm just like, it's been sitting in the fridge, and especially like chicken or like certain items like fish. You don't want to eat that after it's sat in the fridge for like 2 or 3 days.
Oh, no. No. I mean,
So, huh?
yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say, usually what I do is I have, like, right now I have, like, components of meals, and
Right.
then I just heat those components up to make whatever I want, and then
Yeah.
I can switch out, like, if I have a lot of rice, but I have like, right now I have chili in the fridge. Usually, I'll have another thing in the fridge, but
Right.
I get all my meat from Butcher Box, and it just hasn't come in the mail
Okay.
yet. So, I just have chili. It's
Oh,
really I love it, because I also don't think, like, if you're gonna do this, you shouldn't sacrifice the nutritional value and the quality of your food just because you're poor, you know?
right. Or on a budget.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
That's good. I haven't heard of that. I've been wanting to find like more local, like butchers or places where I can source better quality foods. I do try to buy all organic when I'm buying like meats and fish and stuff like that, but it's pricey.
It is pricey. Actually, A&S and Nutley, they all their chicken's organic, like, all their stuff is
Really?
such good quality, food. That's, Maria Strafacci's uncle. But,
Okay.
and their fucking chicken parm sandwich is the best.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. I have
But,
to check it out.
yeah, but, yeah, it's really hard. New Jersey, I feel like, is actually a little bit easier, to source some local stuff. In Florida, I was having like, when it came to meat, I was having a really, big problem. I don't have a car. My boyfriend
Mm,
has the car, which is one of the ways we save money, because car insurance and all that
all
other
of
shit.
that. Yeah.
I hate driving anyway, so I'm like, "Oh, it's your car,
Perfect.
you can drive."
Let him drive.
But also, I was flying around the world, so, like, I didn't
Yeah,
need a
you
car.
have a car.
So, now I probably need a car, but, I don't want one.
I don't blame you.
Um, but yeah, so everything is so much, like, it's very spread out and like
Yeah,
it's just harder to find good meat, but I'm finding there's better options for like vegetables and stuff now. So that's cool.
that's pretty cool.
And
Yeah,
I'm growing all my own stuff, which is fun.
nice. I had a miserable attempt at a garden. Everything died. It all
What
died. I left it, so you know when they hatch, what are they called? Seedlings? When they're like they just when the
they
seed
sprout? Yeah,
sprout.
yeah.
Um, I left it out in the rain. Like I had like a crazy rainstorm in the middle of the day, and it kind of got like waterlogged.
Oh, okay.
And then like because of the humidity, like almost like mold grew on it like overnight. It was this whole thing, and I was just like, "What happened?" And then I tried to dry it out the next day. I was like, "Okay, I'll just dry it out." And I put it in the sun, and then I just crisped it. I killed it. So everything died. I had radishes, celery, tomatoes, squash, zucchini, all dead. I lost it all.
Sounds like it's a lot easier if you start your seeds inside the house.
Yeah, I did, but I thought I was doing it outside, like, I thought it needed more sun, so I would, like, carry it
Huh?
outside on a little tray and, like, get the sun, and then I'd carry it inside. It was way too much work, and then I left it out there during the day, and then this crazy rainstorm came and killed everything. So, it's my fault, I know.
I think you gotta try again. I think you can do it.
Yeah, I'll try again. I still have, like, cilantro and parsley growing and some dill. That's all that survived.
But those are like the most expensive things.
Yeah.
And we go like I go into and it that's another thing. I don't know. Were you buying all your groceries at one grocery store?
Yeah, actually, I buy all of my produce at the, farmer's market in Belleville.
Okay.
The
The one
dog is
by
really
the Wendy's?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can go there and, like, get a haul of stuff and pay, like, $20.
Yeah, that's really
It's
good.
so cheap. It's way cheaper than, like, ShopRite. Like, I could buy the exact same thing and spend, like, $40, $60 at ShopRite buying the exact same stuff. So I always go there for produce, and then I'll buy, like, meats and salmon at Costco, and I buy them either, like, Alaskan wild caught salmon or organic chicken, and I'll put it in the freezer and then just bring things out as the days go on, trying to be trying to be smart about it.
Yeah. Yeah, Costco you gotta be careful with because of where they get their meat. You really gotta like do your research on that one.
Even when
But so a lot of organic brands are like, like the FDA has standards for organic,
oh, that's true. I
and
heard.
they're not, the people in the FDA are not are people that used to be on the corporate side of the food
Right,
industry. So
right,
they're not really they're not really making the rules
right.
as hard as they should be, I feel like.
That
And
makes
some of these brands that are like labeled organic or um kind of they just like look like they're organic, you know what I
mhm,
mean? You have to really look at because they're not um there's very little truth in labeling in
right. It's
America.
a shame. You can't
Yeah,
trust people.
yeah.
I try. I'm sure it's better than, like, Tyson or Purdue,
I
but
hope so, but sometimes these labels are owned by Tyson or Purdue,
that's true too. Ugh,
so you just gotta like it sucks that you have to work that hard
I know.
to
Work
just find something that and pay more for something that has less stuff in it. Like you did
mhm,
less to it. So,
that's true.
but
It's just the reality that we are in.
anyway. So you didn't do the standard meals?
I
Going
didn't do
back.
sorry.
Off topic.
Yeah, I did not do the standard meal because I was like, I know I'm not gonna eat it and it's gonna go to waste. So I was like, let's just, like you said, like have certain components either already like prepped and like marinating, or I would roast like some vegetables and some potatoes so that I would have a side for something. And we just kind of worked through, I cooked, obviously I was cooking a lot more than I was prior because it's like every day and every meal you had to have something ready, and it was a lot more like prep in the early stages than it was anything else. So But we made it through, like, it was, like, halfway through the week, we kind of, like, started getting our groove, we started feeling actually, we felt a lot better. It's really funny, we were, like, both feeling like we're feeling great, like, our digestive system was really good, we were more active, um, overall, like, doing well. And then, like, halfway into the month, we're, like, day 15, like, that's it. We're only on day 15 and, trying to power through it. But overall, it was, like, a really awesome experience. And I saved so much money. I looked back and I was like, wow, my credit card, like, because I put everything on my credit card because I like to get points and all that and track my spending. And I was like, everything is so, like, so low. My balances were so low, like, significantly, which was, like, really empowering and eye-opening. You're like, wow, you do spend a lot just going out to eat.
How much money did you save?
I think I saved, like 400. I think it was just under $500, which is a lot.
But how much were you spending? Because you said you were spending like $400.
Yeah, well, because the thing is with when you're eating out, you're also buying groceries. So we were
Oh, so that's not included. Okay.
Yeah, it was just we were
All
just
right.
eating out. It was terrible. And this was like, I think, that early stage in a relationship where, like, you're just going out on the town and, you're being very social. That was that stage in our relationship. And it quickly added up. So we were buying groceries and they were like, "Oh, you want to go out to eat?" Yeah. And then we'd go out and then our food was going bad in the fridge. So I saved more, basically. I saved on my groceries and I saved on the meals that it cost when we were dining out.
How much did you spend on the groceries?
I think I was spending, like, around, $200 a month.
That's really good. People
Yeah,
also don't realize like um, how much money in your overall budget like you should be spending, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, like I was doing some research when I was trying to figure out how to like do a thing on budgeting.
Mhm.
And it was like you didn't want to go over like it was between like 10 and 20% of your overall
Yeah,
household budget.
yeah.
And I was just like, well, I looked at mine, I'm like, I think that's like 50% of my budget.
But you also are doing it for a living, so I'm sure you're, like, experimenting more and
Um,
trying
well,
more.
the thing was, so before COVID-19, I was working as a international long haul flight attendant.
Mm,
So basically, we would go. I'm in Fort Lauderdale now. Um, we go Fort Lauderdale to like Paris, and then Paris to LA, LA back to Paris or something. It was always back to Europe or Scandinavia, and then come back to Florida. That was like a
wow.
usual trip, and it might be like one night, one night, one night, one night. So you would like get there, be really tired,
Yeah,
um, usually go to sleep. Sometimes if we went to uh, like everyone dreaded getting Oslo, Norway, because
really?
we stayed in like the middle of fucking nowhere. And you could either eat at the restaurant in the hotel or you could eat there was a McDonald's and a gas station down the street. And like because of the difference in the currency of
Yeah.
America and Norway, a Big Mac was $30.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god. Oh
it
my
was
god.
just like
Literally
and the
the best
restaurant
of your life.
exactly, and the restaurant wasn't really much cheaper. So, like, you would try to pack your food to get to Norway and have, like, a granola bar or something and
Oh
wait
my
till
goodness.
breakfast because the breakfast was always included, and the breakfast there was amazing.
Oh, wow.
But, you had to make it to breakfast.
Yeah.
So, it was like it was just not a fun aspect of the job, but also, you would go to all these places, and especially for me, I'd wanna go eat when I had the energy to go eat.
Right.
So, like, my credit card, I was doing the same thing where, all the bills that I could possibly put on the credit card, I would put on the credit card,
Yeah.
and I had travel credit card because my job was traveling, so I got a lot of points with that.
Yeah.
Um, but it was, like, just you had to eat out, you didn't have a choice,
Yeah.
you know? Like, you could bring your food for some of it, but, like, when you think about, like, the refrigeration in, like, a hotel mini fridge and, like,
Mhm.
that kind of thing, like
Dangerous. No, it's yeah, not as easy.
yeah, so and also I just really enjoy eating out because 'cause I'm chef and I wanna see what other people are doing, like, when we would go to Copenhagen, I'd be like, "Yes."
Oh my god, the food must have been so good.
The food was so good, like, everywhere, it was really that was like you couldn't pay for that kind of experience.
Right.
Um, I would just, like, research that's what I really wanted to do with the YouTube channel, I just wanted to, like, be like, "Hey, guys, I'm in Copenhagen now."
That's perfect. That would've
Like,
been so cool.
same.
Still can
Yeah,
do you never know.
never know. I don't think my job's coming back, though.
Really?
No, they're, like, going out of business.
What
Uh,
airline?
Norwegian Airlines.
They're going out of business?
Pretty much. They scaled back all the way to Norway, and then I mean, there's hope that they'll come back, but they weren't in good shape when before the pandemic.
Mm.
And then we've so we voted in the union. It took us like years to get this unionized, and our it got ratified our contract on the March 19th, and then we all got furloughed on the 22nd.
My god.
So, and thank God we did because then they couldn't
Yeah,
just, you know,
fired.
fire us.
Yeah.
So we have like a 2-year recall period. And it seems like they want to come back to the US, but it sounds like, they're trying to finagle pretty much getting out of the contract because why wouldn't they? They're
Yeah.
a business. So we'll see. But I'm
Definitely.
not holding my breath. And then my other job on my days off was I just started around Thanksgiving time was teaching pastry classes at Sur La Table because one just opened by my house, like where I live.
Mhm.
Um, and that's a lot of fun, but then obviously you can't really have classes right now, and Florida is one of the highest cases of COVID. Like,
Yeah.
actually, I got home on the 9th of March, and I was supposed to teach classes a couple days after that, and I got really sick on that trip, and I was like, "I don't feel good. I might have, I think I might have COVID because I
Yeah.
was my trip was to Norway or to Sweden, then to Thailand, and then back to Sweden for a couple days, and then back home, and I, first, when I
Oh my
got from Thailand to Sweden, I really didn't feel that great, but I was like, "Ah, hold on, someone's calling me."
god.
Anyway, so, um, when I came back from Thailand to Sweden, I was like, "Oh, I don't feel that great, but, like, I'm okay." And then, we were there for, like, 3 days or something because of the way the scheduling worked, and then I got back to Fort Lauderdale, and I was like, "Ah, no, I'm okay." And then I remember I got in the car, and I was like, "I don't
Oh
feel
my
so
god.
good."
Oh my god. Had you already heard of it when you were traveling? Like whispers of COVID?
It wasn't even whispers, like, America was so fucking not on top of shit, like,
No.
because I would watch, like, in BBC News,
Mhm.
I would always have, be looking at the international news because that's where I'm going, and they were already talking about it and doing things about it, and at the time when I was in Thailand, it was the country, um, that had the most infections outside of Wuhan, China.
Mm.
And I was going in and out of there and back into America, and nobody was testing, nobody was taking my temperature. I got my temperature taken one time going into Thailand, and that was it.
Wow.
Nobody cared if I left Thailand with COVID,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Coming
And
back.
then you have to think, like, I'm a flight attendant. They're
Right.
not doing it to the crew, they're not doing it to anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, we're the
Especially the crew.
Yeah, we're the perfect people to spread disease
Yeah.
because it's not like I'm going to Thailand and then I'm staying there for a month with my family or whatever. I'm leaving, that and that layover too was like 17 hours or something ridiculous. So you're not only are you um, around like different people all the time, so you have more chances to catch it. You're
Mhm.
very sleep deprived,
Right, your immune
and
system's down.
your immune system is so far down because you're not you can't rest. Like coming from Florida and then going to Thailand, that's like 12-hour time difference.
Right.
Like your body's just kind of like, I don't know what you're doing. I want to go to bed now.
I have a lot of respect. That can't be easy, that job.
In that respect, like that's definitely the hardest part of the job, besides
Yeah.
like, making sure, as a flight attendant and as a woman too,
Right.
flight attendants are generally thought of as like sexy waiters in the sky.
Yeah.
And, we're literally like the last, we're the police, we're the psychiatrist, we're the waiter, we're the
I know.
EMTs, we're the
I know.
firefighters. So like, the pay needs to be a lot higher and the treatment needs to be a lot higher because you get idiots like doing things that are like, oh, it doesn't matter. They don't take it seriously.
Mm.
Like even like smoking on a plane. Like so many people like will vape or smoke on the plane and they don't understand that like if you throw your cigarette in the toilet and it
Yeah.
catches something else on fire or
Yeah.
in the wastebasket, like you have 12 minutes before the plane is
I
entirely up
can't
in
people
smoke.
I can't believe people still smoke on planes.
Most of them are vaping now. Like you smell the
Yeah,
strawberry or whatever, but it's
yeah.
still like, come on, man. Like,
Wow.
like what are you doing? Like, get some nicotine gum.
Yeah.
Like,
Nicotine patch. Just
I
do
mean,
some
I feel like they should sell that on the duty free, like nicotine
yeah,
gum. It would make a lot more money, I think, because
yeah.
they sell the cartons of cigarettes. Like,
I know. I've seen those. So
but
disgusting. No, don't do it. Oh,
yeah.
man.
So it's
That
just
must
like
have
a
been
lot of.
tough. Did you get tested for antibodies?
I think I tested for antibodies, but then when I got home, I was like, I don't feel good, and people really weren't. Like nothing was like really shut down yet,
Yeah.
and it was kind of like mixed messages in the news and about where you could even get tested for coronavirus. And I
Mhm.
was scared because I didn't want to like I went into the urgent care as soon as I got home, and I was like trying to stand as far away from the counter as I could and be like,
Yeah.
I think I have this. Like, where can I go? She's like, oh, you can't go to urgent care. You have to call this hotline, right? And like passes me the number for the hotline. And I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, um, I'm like, okay. So I go home and I didn't feel good at all. So I just like went to sleep. And I'm like, because it was already like 8 or 9 o'clock at night by the time I got
Right.
home. And so I wake up the next day, and I think I had a call, or no, I woke up the next day or the next morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, you ever wake up when you're sick and you with the fever and you're like,
Ooh.
"Shit." So
Yeah.
so I called and I was like, "I can't come teach class because my classes too, I'm in Florida. They're mostly retired people.
Oh
They're
my
like,
god.
they're the class that they're gonna get sick the most." So I'm just thinking like, I can't like it's as a person, like it's my duty not
Sure.
to put others at risk.
Mhm.
And so I was like, all right, like, I can't come in, and I felt bad too because, like, who's gonna cover my class? Like, they're gonna
Right.
have to, like, cancel the class and lose out on that money, and, that's not great, but, like, you have to be proactive, you can't be reactive, and, so then the next day, I called the hotline, and they told me to go to urgent care. So I was like, "Okay, well, maybe this urgent care didn't get the message, let me go to a different urgent care. So now I'm already like in two different places and I'm not comfortable with that. And I get to that urgent care and they say, no, you have to go to the hospital.
Oh my God.
So then I get to the hospital and you know where like the sliding doors are? There's like the walkway. So there's a table set up and it says like, if you think you have COVID-19, like come here, right?
Right.
So I go up to the thing and I don't know if he was like a nurse or something. I don't no, but he got like a walkie-talkie and a mask on. And he was like asking me all these questions because at first they weren't giving you a test unless you have
Right.
met certain criteria. And
Right.
I had met all the criteria. I was out of the country. I was in
Yeah.
countries where, they had
Don't
lots
have
of
it.
cases and all this other
Yeah.
shit. And uh so he gets on the walkie-talkie, he's like, come with me. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get tested. So they put me in this like makeshift quarantine inside a decontamination shower out by like the ambulances where the exit entrance is like outside of the hospital,
Right.
right? And I'm in there for like 3 hours and I'm like talking to the doctors. From one, I was like, how much is this gonna cost me?
Right.
And they said, we don't deal with that at all. I have no idea. Like, and I was like, because I'm here because I don't feel good. I'm definitely like, there's a high percentage that I was exposed to this, but I'm more here so I don't get others sick, you know?
Right.
So what's the deal with this? And they're like, I have no idea. We don't even know what to do if we get it as medical professionals. So I'm like, okay. So finally, the doctor comes in and says, we don't have the test here. And I was like, what? So they're like, we're gonna test you for influenza and strep throat, and if they come back negative, then we're gonna send the influenza sample out to be COVID tested by the CDC. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So influenza is the same as
The flu, right?
yeah, the
Or
flu
cold.
test. No,
Yeah.
it's a flu, and it goes up your nose though, the same as the
Mm,
COVID.
mm.
And I mean, it's uncomfortable, but like
Yeah.
it's not that bad. Like
It
I feel like
looks
people,
bad when I've
yeah, it
seen
looks bad and it kind of like tickles and it's like oh for like a second,
it.
but
Yeah.
it's not um it's not like awful.
Mhm.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
But um so then they did that and they took all my insurance information and shit. So of course I got the 300 fucking dollar bill for it. And so then I'm there for I can't go back to work until I get cleared from the doctor. So they put me on the quarantine um, unless I get the negative result, right?
Right.
So um, I wait like 3 days, and they said like you should have your test results by now, and they'll call you back. So
Sorry.
so,
Go ahead.
so I'm calling, and they're saying, oh, well, we can't give you they're giving me like HIPAA shit, like they can't release the results or whatever. So I go through this thing like we don't have a record at the hospital uh for a COVID test, but why not call the health department because if it went to the CDC, the health department should have it.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
go through all these fucking loops. I'm calling like three different offices
Oh my
and
God.
only to find out like 2 weeks later they never tested me for COVID-19.
I'm not surprised.
So
I've heard this before. People just going through hoops to get a test, and then they were like, "Oh, we have no record of you even getting tested." Like their thing completely is like lost in the shuffle.
yeah, and I was just
Uh,
like, are you fucking kidding me? So now I have a $300 bill for what?
yeah.
For being the only responsible adult in this whole situation. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And
That's
yeah,
terrible.
and now I'm losing my health insurance and all that other shit too because now I lost both my jobs. So I'm just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Where's the, but yeah, so I need to work on my fuck you
That fuck you money, honey.
money.
I was gonna ask you, do you have an HSA account?
I do not. What is that?
It's a health savings account. And basically, it's like a lot of high deductible health insurance plans come with it.
Okay.
And a lot of people actually have it and they don't even know that they have it, like access to it. And it's basically all you can save up to $3,500 a year to any type of health problem. So co-pays or dental, eye surgery, whatever, anything to do, even prescriptions. Like if you needed to get like Tylenol, you can even charge that. Basically it's an account pre-tax up to
Okay.
$3,500 a year, and you can use it for anything health related. So you're saving every month in this like separate account, and it's before your taxes are taken out. So it's even better than paying with it post-tax dollars because you already pay tax on those dollars. And you can save a nice chunk of change and use that. I use that for all of my co-pays because I have a terrible insurance plan, and like a copay for me is like $80-$90, and that doesn't even include whatever like tests that they're running. So I just charge it to that, and it feels a lot less hurt, it feels like a lot less of a hit because it's coming out of that account that I've already saved in.
Yeah, that sounds well, next time I get insurance, I'll look into it. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
next time look into it.
Next time.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
I'll be back to normal soon. Well, I don't know about that, but hopefully jobs open up a little bit and people can kind of resume some type of normalcy.
So we got way off topic.
Yeah.
um what was I gonna say? Oh, so I was wondering,
Mhm.
what did you when you did this 30-day challenge, did you decide what you wanted to eat based off of just like stuff that was on sale, or
Yeah.
and now that you have done that challenge, did you implement certain things from living that way that you just kept doing?
Yeah. I think so we definitely shopped off of what was like seasonal was like the first thing, because when you buy things that are not seasonal, they tend to be more expensive because they're getting shipped from all over the world and they're not always the best for you anyway. So we were doing more seasonal shopping, and we were looking at what's on sale for certain types of meat, especially like what was on sale. I mean, I know that they say that the people are scared to buy things that are on sale because they think that they're going bad. But I think it's really just like they're like you have to cook it. Like that's the day that you have to eat it, or you have to freeze it for the next day, or start marinating it. You'd probably know more about that than I would, but
Yeah, so actually, not only like usually things in season are cheaper because there's abundance of them, right? So that's the same. This is going to go bad, and I have to move a large amount of this quicker than if it was a smaller amount. Like, so I
right.
could have raised the price, supply and demand.
Mhm.
But also now, because food is so expensive, you see that there's a lot of chains um, that are like almost like discount grocery stores. So like
Yeah,
ShopRite or Publix, or I guess Giant if you're in like Pennsylvania. It's
yeah,
kind of like that, like good grocery store where you're paying a lot of money for the stuff in there. But then like you have like Bottom Dollar or
I've heard of all.
Value, Family Dollar. There's a couple
Yeah,
of them.
yeah,
And even like um Pueblo, Presidente,
yeah.
um, they get their produce, like they get their produce at a discount so they can sell it at a discount. So
Mhm.
they get the stuff from the farmers and stuff that's not gonna last as long, and sometimes they even get it from, like, ShopRite, or, like, if they have a too much and they know they can't sell it,
Right.
then a discount grocery store will, um, buy it from them.
Yeah.
So my this month last month we didn't go to multiple grocery stores because we wanted to limit our exposure to other people.
Right.
So we didn't want to be going to like 3 different grocery stores.
Yeah.
But this month we're like we have no idea financially what our situation is going to be because I was working those two jobs, and I think I was paying for probably like 75% of our bills because Noel is studying to get his airplane mechanic license. So he's not getting the full amount that a mechanic should be getting because he doesn't have the license yet. So hopefully July 26th. But um, so without my income, it's like, fuck, we got to pay rent.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and we probably have enough money to like get us through like one month, um, like without my pay,
Mhm.
without the unemployment and the CARES Act, really.
Yeah.
Because once that ends, we're just like,
Yeah, and
you
that's
know,
apparently ending soon.
yeah, that ends like end of July.
Wow.
There's kind of debate on whether you get paid for that last week of July. So basically, I mean, I've been applying to jobs that would be the same amount of money I was making.
Mhm.
So now it kind of, but like as soon as that money is like about to run out, I'm gonna have to apply to like, jobs that are like $10, $12 an hour.
I know.
And that's ridiculous because in Florida too, the unemployment is only 275 a week, and that's before taxes are taken out of it.
Oh god.
And then I was also getting like food stamps, EBT, and they just sent me a letter. They were originally they got when it for COVID first started, I got $194 a month, which was great to buy food.
Yeah.
And even then, like I don't know if you saw in the news, like it took forever to get any money from unemployment.
I heard.
So you
Yeah.
had to kind of like back pay some of your bills once you got the money. And
Mhm.
then it was like, I was like, oh, I got the food stamps like 2 weeks before I got any money from unemployment, so it was a savior, but I just got a letter in the mail saying my allowance, because I'm making too much money on unemployment, is gonna go from 195 to $60.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
$60.
my god.
I was like, "Oh, great. Good thing I started growing my own little farm on my fucking
Yeah.
patio."
Oh no.
Jesus.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Well, it'll be fine. Like,
Dang.
thank God I know how to cook because
Yeah,
I'm not
that
going hungry.
helps. Yeah,
But it's
that helps.
just like really Florida.
Mm,
Ugh.
I
But
know.
yeah.
Now
So
it's going crazy with COVID, so
yeah, and right now so I guess I'll tell you about what I'm doing to save the most amount of money I possibly can.
yeah.
Um, so the first thing is like purchasing. So I am shopping around. Um, I saved from last month and just going to that one grocery store to this month, just going to two, just going to Publix and Presidente, and not counting. I do make that. I do get my that meat, the butcher box. It's 150 a month, which is expensive-ish, but because of the quality of the meat, and honestly, I usually have enough for the next month. Like I'm not like that. I can kind of like make some food and like share a little bit, which
Right.
helps.
Yeah.
Maybe get some money on the under the table. You know, I'll make you dinner. You got to give me $20.
Yeah.
um, so that's like 150 automatically, and then I mean we're almost down to like nothing, and we bought our $180 at Presidente and $190 at Publix,
Wow.
for everything, for and it's gonna be for the month. And even more because we had to stock up on things that we don't usually stock up on. Um, like rice and like uh, just like bulk
Mhm.
items like honey and flour and things that they're not every month we
Right.
buy.
Yeah. And
Um,
they're expensive. They add up. Like spices, it's that initial investment is
yeah,
pricey.
yeah, spices are always expensive, and they're you gotta try growing them again, because even transplanting them from the grocery store,
Mhm.
um, that's what I've been doing with my scallions and my basil I got from Whole Foods because they have this, very good one, and it has the root
Yeah.
ball attached to it, and
Mhm.
it started out like this tall, and now it's like 3 feet tall.
Nice. And you just put it in water, or do you plant it like into
I
soil?
planted it in I got so I've been following this channel, it's called Epic Gardening,
Oh,
and I
cool.
follow, like, a couple other channels too, but that's the one where I really, started to learn, more about, like, container gardening for, like,
Okay.
small spaces,
Yeah.
and and it's just like, "Oh, like, I never have to buy basil again." Like, I can
So
just keep,
fabulous.
like, cutting cuttings from it and, like, getting roots from it and regrowing. So I'm kinda and it's kind of like a hobby where, like, it relaxes me, you know? So,
Mhm.
and it because I
That's so
went
nice.
to, Publix, and they sell herbs now, like, fresh herbs in these little, like, packets,
Yeah.
and they're, like, $4,
3.99. Yep.
and you need, like, 5 of them. Like,
Yeah. And they die right away.
they die right away.
And they come
So
in plastic. So,
so I look for ones that have, like, younger, like, looking roots or
right.
little, like, what do you call it? Like, sprouts or offshoots, and
Yeah.
those are really good for, like, transplanting. So I
Okay.
did that with the sage, and it's worked pretty well. Um, I haven't done it I started the cilantro I have from seed, but I think I want there's this I haven't seen it before, but you know what culantro is? It looks
Yeah.
more like a grass.
Yeah.
I wanna get some of that because I think that will do really well in Florida. So
Yeah.
that's another thing is trying to figure out, like, what does better. But that's another thing, like, Presidente caters to, like, Dominicans and Haitians, and they're starting to have a lot more Asian stuff,
Oh, cool.
at least down here, I think it just depends on where you are.
Mhm.
But, so their cilantro, you get, like, a huge bushel of it for,
Yeah.
like, 99 cents.
Yep.
So, like, just saving money on that is
It
amazing.
does add up. Growing it for sure adds up.
And I did a, my video that I'd never published because it was so awful. I wanted to talk about, standardized recipes.
Okay.
Um, so when you're a chef, you have, like, just like at home, your grandmother probably has, like, a recipe box
Mhm.
with all the recipes for, like, the house,
I wish she has
no?
it all up here, and she's like,
It's
"Oh,
like
add a little of this, add a little of that." I'm like, "How does that help me?"
oh, man. So what I've been doing is, it's gonna take me forever, but all my recipes from working and stuff like that are in this box. So it's cigar box and will help me.
Oh, nice. Oh my goodness.
So basically, you can take a recipe and you can cost out how much that it costs to make that recipe,
Mm.
um, which is great. I think I want to do like a Google sheet or something, and then like this could be another revenue stream where like you could buy it for like 99 cents
Yeah,
or something.
yeah. Those
to
e-books are popular.
Yeah, I just got to figure out how to make one, but I'm sure it's not that hard. And
Google
yeah, well, learn it on YouTube, you know.
it.
So if I can figure out how much a recipe is, I can figure out how to change the recipe to make it cheaper.
Right.
So like chicken noodle soup, like if um if they're having a sale on whole chickens instead of just chicken thighs or something,
Yeah.
or the chicken with the bone in versus the chicken without or whatever, you
Mhm.
just pick that one and then you can switch out see how much you're saving in the recipe. And
Right.
I think if you don't know how your recipe works and how to substitute, you're not
Mhm.
going to know how much money you can save.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
It
that
is
makes a big difference.
Mhm.
And also like where you can buy that. That's a
Yeah,
huge deal.
I
So
know. It does take a lot of, like, price shopping. Like,
yeah.
I know people that they just go to their store and they have no idea how much things cost. They just grab it and throw it in their cart, and I'm like, "Oh, so how much do you pay for your green peppers?" They're like, "I don't know." I'm like, "It's
Yeah.
$1.49 at my farmer's market, like, how much is it at yours?" And they're like, "I have no idea."
And they
Um,
also don't look at like, like I have all the only like brand of tomatoes I really don't buy is Hunt's because it doesn't taste good.
mhm.
But
And
sometimes
Argano. Yeah,
sometimes like this is on sale, but sometimes it's cento, like some
yeah,
so I always have like oh I don't know if it's single. Okay. So I always have like different things because this was cheaper than this at one point and vice versa.
right.
Like that's why. And people don't look.
Yeah, and you spot a good deal when you start paying attention. You're like, "Oh my god, that was $2 more at the other supermarket." So, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, especially when it comes to like butter.
Oh.
Like butter freezes perfect.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like like stock your freezer up because I went to Target like two maybe a week ago. I went to Target.
Uh-huh.
I was making a cake for a friend and butter was like 2.99. Butter
Yeah.
is usually 3.89.
Mm.
And so to get below like that $4, like
Yeah.
three high threes,
That's
like
the 4-stick one?
yeah, a pound of butter.
Wow.
So I was just like, oh shit. So I got like 6 pounds of butter
Yeah,
and put it in my freezer.
there you go.
So and it's like, it's not gonna go bad when a lot of these things don't go bad if you freeze them or
Right,
like this doesn't really go bad. Like it takes a very long time for a canned product to go bad, but
right,
they have to put a use by date on it in case it's damaged or something because like if you have a dented can, you could get botulism and all that other stuff. So
okay.
which is Botox, but not
Yeah, what kind you want.
not you don't want to eat it. Or maybe inject it in your face a little bit. Oh, Noel's coming home.
Oh,
Oh, oh. So, what else do we need to talk about? You know,
mm.
so, you want to say hi?
Hi. How you been?
I'm good, how are you?
I, I'm I'm good. I'm great. Just another day, you know.
Another day, I know.
How's the house business going?
The house business is interesting. The market is really crazy right now, surprisingly. It's
Oh,
like 20 offers on a house. It's crazy.
why don't you take this thing off of this and put it on the speaker?
People are in the hallway and all that other shit.
There's no people in the home.
What am I saying there was?
Okay, all right. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
it was good.
I'm sorry. I gotta hit the shower.
Oh,
I'm done and I'm finished.
okay.
I'm overcooked. There we go.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
Oh man. Anyway, so standardized recipes,
Hmm.
shopping at other places,
Yeah, buying in bulk.
buying in bulk,
Hmm.
as long as you can use it. Because that's another thing. A lot of people buy in bulk, but then
Hmm.
their money is tied up in their inventory because then they don't use it.
Right.
So you can't just buy in bulk just because you're like, oh, it's a big like
Yeah,
good
don't
deal.
hoard.
Don't
Yeah,
hoard. Don't hoard
yeah.
the toilet paper.
I found a great deal at ShopRite, and it was like imported pasta, and they were like 89 cents per thing. And I was like, this is a great deal because usually they're like $2.99 for a little thing of pasta. So I got like 10 of them. And that's because my boyfriend eats a lot, and I need to find things to fill up his plate that's not going to be really expensive. So I was like, pasta, rice, potatoes, and I just buy those
Yeah.
in bulk because he eats like a horse. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
just
mean, that's what drives me crazy too. Like carbs get a bad rep, but if you eat like no one else working on airplanes in the hot Florida sun. He's lifting up airplane tires like he is doing manual labor. Like you
yeah,
can't just eat like you have to have enough carbohydrates in
yeah,
order to do that work. You have to have protein and vegetables and the
fats and all
nutrient,
that.
all the vitamins and stuff as well. But
Right.
like if we just had like a paleo diet, like we would never be able to afford that
Yeah.
and be able to do it correctly, Like,
Yeah. Or make it out there.
yeah.
Couldn't do
So
it. I
I'm
couldn't
just
do it.
and like right now too, another thing is I pretty much do intermittent fasting, like
Mhm.
especially which is actually great right now because um with COVID, like being home, like I'm making the videos and all that other stuff and looking for jobs and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if a lot of times you're not hungry, you're just bored.
Right. And
So
you're like perusing the fridge.
yeah, "Oh, I'm bored. I think I'll have a snack." So with the meal prep and stuff, like I I mainly eat my sweets like in the morning with coffee, but
Mm.
then I don't eat anything till like I mean I ate before we did this video thing, but
Mhm.
honestly I probably wouldn't eat until like right now, maybe like 9 or 10 because like when he comes home sometimes we go out for a run or exercise and then I eat right after that. But that's all I eat all day, coffee,
Yeah.
little snack, don't eat. So by eating one meal a day too, we save a lot of money.
That dollar.
Yeah. Some
Oh no.
people call it intermittent fasting,
I call it budgeting.
budgeting. So,
Um, but if it works for you and you don't feel like you're faint, or I don't think I could do one meal a day. Actually, I'm on one meal a day, but it was like a huge meal.
yeah.
Um, it was like,
It was a big meal. I had rice, chili, chopped up
yeah.
some avocado, put some
Oh,
lettuce on top. It was delicious.
that sounds good. Sounds really good.
Lime. But I don't if I was doing more things, then I would eat more. But I
Yeah,
don't need to eat more do that because I'm
as
not
active.
expending it. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. So we said buying in bulk. I also know that eating less meat helps people save money when they go more vegetarian. And people think the opposite. They're like, "Oh, you're going to spend more money," and I'm like, "Actually, it's cheaper. More lentils and
Yeah.
more seeds and all that. You get your protein, and it's actually pretty cheap."
And vegetarian and vegan are very different. And I
Yeah,
feel like people when you say vegetarian, people are kind of think more vegan and like eggs are vegetarian and eggs
yeah,
have a lot of protein. They're good for
yeah,
you.
and
I
they're cheap.
mean and they're cheap and I'm mainly vegetarian just because I'm don't have a lot of money.
Yeah,
But
you're
I when I eat meat, I eat good quality meat. And
right.
I don't spend my money on shit because if you that's another thing. If you eat shit, you're gonna feel like shit,
Yep.
and then you're gonna spend more money at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
So
Long
I'm
term,
not
it's going to cost you more.
yeah. So I'd rather just eat well and like not eat as much meat, but
Hmm.
eat the more quality meat.
Hmm.
If that makes sense because why eat a big steak if it half of it is like, hormones and
Yeah.
like it doesn't taste good because it's not really muscle that was like very developed and that
Right.
you can taste it when the beef has lived a good life, where the chicken it, it's totally different.
I agree. I agree.
So
And I don't think people's palates, at least not in this country, are used to that. All we really try. Like I remember when I tried a tomato in Greece, I was like, this is what a tomato should taste like. And I was like, this is the best. It didn't even taste like the tomatoes here. It was just so night and day difference.
Well, you gotta get that garden up because
I know.
nothing is better than a Jersey tomato, girl.
I know.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna plant some more tomorrow. I tried to be all slick and get the seeds because I was like, I'm gonna start from scratch. I'm gonna start from the seed versus like buying it already. I don't know what they call it, like sprouted, like it's already slightly developed. What do they call it?
Yeah, it's see. Well, it's like you have the sprout when it just has like the two leaves,
Mm-hmm.
and what they call it like the true leaves when the leaves that look like the leaves that the actual plant has come up.
Right. Through it.
And then I guess like then that's more a seedling, I guess. And then they have just it's the tomato plant, but it's just like a starter or which I think go with the starter if
I'm
you
gonna go with the starter.
that's not who cares,
I know.
but
I was just
go,
thinking.
go that's another thing too. If you
I,
go to like a local nursery, you're gonna
yeah.
get cooler varieties than
Right.
like Home Depot. And one of the things I learned too, which we'll see how it goes over there, but you want to get tomatoes that are kind of named after the climate that you're in because
Oh,
usually that means that tomato does well there.
okay.
So here in Florida, I actually decided to grow, I don't know the names of them, but there's this like variety of tomatoes you can get in the grocery store, and they're like the yellow, the like deep purple ones, and the red
Yes.
ones.
I love those.
Yeah, they're my favorite. So I decided to take the seeds from some, and that's how I started my plants outside
Okay.
because I was like, then I'm not even paying for seeds.
Yeah. Perfect.
And it worked. But and also because they're cherry tomatoes, they're not going to require as much water in my
Okay.
thinking because I know how hot Florida is in the summer, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to try to like have to have the amount of water for a giant tomato.
Hmm.
Um, so I hope these work, but it might just be too hot for them to even like bear fruit.
Right.
So maybe like a couple days ago, I found out about this variety called the Everglade tomato that is named after the Everglades in Florida and
Right.
does really well in Florida.
Okay. Perfect.
So the next time I'm gonna do that. But like, there's got like Jersey tomatoes are like so famous. Like they're
Yeah,
the best tomatoes.
I know.
So I grew them when I lived in Nutley, like probably like the last year my mom had her house.
Uh-huh.
And they not only do they grow to be taller than me, they grow to be like
My
they're
goodness.
taller than Noelle. I think they grew to be like 6'4", the tomato
No
plant.
way.
And they kept because we didn't really get like a frost until after Halloween. They
Yeah.
kept having tomatoes till almost Thanksgiving.
No way.
Yeah, and then I just picked all the green ones. And they're so good because you can leave them on the vine longer.
Yeah.
So they ripen all the way. They're not like gassed to turn red
Right.
in the grocery store, and they have way more flavor. It's just so amazing.
It
And
is
that
amazing.
soil in New Jersey is like corn, tomatoes, and
So
really
weird.
good peaches. So
Really?
yeah.
I don't know that about peaches.
So
I did better last year with my tomatoes. This year,
yeah.
I think I just took on too much and I killed them all. They were doing so great. They all sprouted. Ah, there's a fly in here. And then I killed them all. So, lesson learned.
Also, you might need just drainage holes in the tray too.
Yeah, it was just, it was a monsoon and they all just like, all the
They're
soil.
like done.
My boyfriend's like, what happened to you? I'm like, don't talk to me about the plants. Like, I was so guilty. The shame.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll try again.
Yeah, it's growing your own food.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed was cleaning out my pantry and cleaning out my freezer. That was like a good like starter when I wanted to start eating more at home and like trying to budget in the kitchen was I'm like going through the inventory of what I had because I feel like people don't realize when they go back into their kitchen and they take things out, like the cans in the back or things in their freezer, like, oh my God, I have all this stuff and you haven't been cooking with it. And you go to the store and you buy things and you don't even realize that you actually have it at home.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I try to do here. So in the food industry, we use this thing called FIFO, which means first in, first out.
Okay.
So anything that goes in first has to come out first.
Right.
So, so when you go to the grocery store, like my cans, for instance, number one, this is going to sound OCD, but this is what you just do in the kitchen. So you want to make it super easy to
Hmm.
see everything and to know if you're out of something. So all
Hmm.
my cans and all my spices are in alphabetical order
Oh, wow.
because if I don't, then I know like it's not in some weird place, you know.
Right.
Sometimes it is because Noel thinks I'm crazy to have cans in alphabetical order. He just puts it wherever he wants. But for the most part, they stay in alphabetical order. And then I know like I only have 2 cans of tomato paste or whatever, or 1 can
Yeah.
of corn, or 3 cans of black beans. And then when I buy more, because sometimes even if I have it because there's a good sale,
Hmm.
I'll buy some more, especially on the tomato products. But
Yeah.
then I put the stuff that I had that just came in behind the old stuff. So I make sure that gets used up first. And
Right.
that's very easy to do here because it's like open shelving.
Yeah. I love that.
And this was like $50 at Home Depot. I think
Hmm.
40 maybe.
It's
And
perfect.
then these are called Metro shelves.
Okay.
So you use them in the kitchen, especially the ones like this that are covered in like a plastic, so you can put them in the fridge or whatever, and then
Right.
they don't rust.
Perfect.
Um, but the shelves, they hold up to like 300 pounds. So
Oh, wow. There you
it's
go.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah. And now you
Uh,
can see everything that's there when it's open.
exactly. So, which I like, but it's very hard to do that in the refrigerator
Yeah.
because you're like squatting, the door is trying to close and hit you, and like,
Yeah. And you're
uh,
like digging to the
yeah,
back of the fridge.
yeah. So, that's definitely like, and the freezer, same thing with the freezer.
Hmm.
Um, so, but it's also good to have like to clean the
Yeah.
freezer and the
Yeah.
refrigerator just to make it run better. And that's when you kind of find all the stuff in the back.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I've been guilty of letting things just kind of go bad, especially like greens, like vegetables and stuff like that. Like I'll have like basil or a pepper in the back and I didn't use it, and I do know that when I'm throwing it away, I'm throwing money away. And people don't
Yeah.
know that connection. Like you're throwing your food away, you're throwing your money right in the trash.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I like about the herb garden too, is that my herbs would always like go bad, especially if
Yeah.
you have to buy a plastic thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So to be able to replant that and then you just go out to the garden and cut some and I don't have to worry about it in the refrigerator is
It's
like,
such a gift.
or just even like if there's too much of it, like hanging it up to dry
Yeah.
is a
Oh,
good
wow.
option too, instead
That's
of
cool.
just putting it in the fridge because it always goes bad, goes
Yeah.
slimy.
I know. I know. It's only like it's 1 or 2 days, I feel like, and things go bad so fast. So snipping it off the back of out of your garden it's so satisfying. I
Yeah.
know when I'm going to cook and I'm like I'm off and I grab my scissors and I'm like I'm off to go snip some herbs and I throw it in the meal. You're like, wow, that was pretty cool. Like it seems so foreign to us, I think, versus other
Yeah.
people in the world. It's like very common.
Well, it's really cool too once you start cooking. Like there was a one meal where I think I made everything from scratch, but like the meat, like
Oh wow, that's
because
awesome.
I had made the bread from scratch. I forgot what I was making. Maybe I made like an egg sandwich or something. I
Okay.
got the eggs from the farm, like a local farm or something. I don't remember. Maybe it
Nice.
wasn't an egg sandwich. I don't remember. But everything else, I was like, huh, I grew this, I made the
Yeah.
bread. I was like, wow, this is pretty crazy. I made the pasta. I think it was a pasta dish.
Oh, nice.
It might have been the pesto that I made, yeah.
Ooh,
Everything was from scratch, and then I had the bread that I made too, like, as the
yeah,
bread to, like, eat the sauce with, so
perfect.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. And there's like a lot of and I feel like the skills to learn how to do those things, they will serve you the rest of your life. Like it's that initial investment, like the spices, they cost money, and the time it takes to learn to cook. It seems like a lot, but it's gonna pay off tenfold the rest of your life because you can make your own food and
Oh,
have it.
yeah, and also, I think people, especially moving from New Jersey to Florida, and I don't know if this is I really don't think it's because of, like, I grew up there because I also lived in Philly for a long time,
Mhm.
and, um, up north, we have I guess because we have winter, really, we have this culture of, "What are you doing? Oh, you wanna come over?" Like, people
Yeah,
come over, like, they
yeah,
that's a thing, and
yeah,
here, like, everyone lives in, like, a smaller, like, condo,
yeah,
and, "Oh, what are you doing? You wanna go out?"
yeah,
It's never like, I ha recently, I've had more people come over for dinner now that everything is, like, closed,
yeah,
um, and, like, I'm making, like, an amazing meal, and it's
yeah,
just like, "Whoa," but, like, when I go out, like, I can't get a meal that good, and I have to pay, like, $60 for it
yeah,
or more, and I'm
yeah.
just like, "I don't wanna go out."
I know. I
And
know.
it's not like the people I go out with are, like, you know, talking to anyone else but me, like,
Right.
you might as well just come over.
Yeah. That
And
is a
it's
cultural thing.
yeah, and it's like you might as and also, it's fun to cook with people, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Dwell and I love cooking together,
Yeah.
and then, like, when I lived in New Jersey, like, my friends would come over, I think we made pizza one day, we'll make things together, and,
Mhm.
it's a fun way to not spend so much money on doing
Yeah.
something fun too.
Yeah. It's an activity which you don't get when you go out to eat. You're just sitting at a table and you're like looking at each other, and then you're
Yeah,
like, "Let's have a drink," and then you're not doing much. So you're doing an activity. You're getting to like talk. You're getting to eat a nice meal, and you have a perfectly lovely environment to hang out in.
and a bottle of wine is 10, $15, and a drink is 10, $15,
Yeah,
like
a whole bottle. I know. So I said based on sales, one of the things was like having things that were convenient. So like after a long day, like I need to have an emergency meal. And
yeah,
my go-to emergency meal was like I had frozen organic wild salmon. And so it was always in the freezer. It was one of those things that I would always go to. I would put it in a pan over low with like coconut oil, and I'd put veggies in it. Like I'd let the salmon cook, and then I'd throw in some like frozen veggies, garlic and like lemon and all the seasonings. And that was I would have dinner ready in like 20 minutes. It was
that's
like
perfect.
perfect. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I was having an emergency meal on hand just in case, things get a little hectic in your day. Because then you're going to be weak. You're going to be like, oh, I'm starving. I'm going to get a slice of pizza.
exactly. And then you do and you also go for those, like, instant gratification meals that
Yeah.
aren't, like, healthy at all, like pizza
No,
or,
and
like,
not satisfying.
you know,
Yeah.
like yeah, I think that was our biggest challenge is, like, you're tired and you don't wanna cook.
Yeah.
And you don't wanna clean either, honestly. More for
No.
me, like, I don't wanna clean. So when, usually the first thing I do in the morning is I empty the dishwasher from the night before because
Mhm.
even, when you're tired, like, even just putting away the clean stuff is like
A chore.
a chore,
Yeah.
which it shouldn't be because I remember not having a dishwasher. And
Yeah.
it's like,
I should be grateful for this dishwasher.
yeah,
It's still a task though, because you have to put the dishes away after, if you don't dry them off, you gotta still put them away, and it's
yeah,
almost
it's a whole thing. But it's just, you gotta make it as easy as possible to eat
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So
Something healthy, costs effective and quick.
So when did you have like a specific day where you meal prepped everything?
I usually did all of my shopping on like a Sunday or a Saturday for the week. And then like Sunday I would prep certain things like that I knew I want, like roasting potatoes. I feel like that was like so easy. Like I would roast a few whole sweet potatoes on the pan and then I'd have them and then I would know that I had like a yummy sweet potato to go along with like salmon or with chicken, or if I wanted just, some veggies and some like chickpeas or something, I had something that was like really satisfying and kind of like filling along with whatever else I was serving it with. So I did some of those things that I knew would last a little bit longer in the fridge and that they would still taste really good.
I mean, I definitely do that. So usually I have, um, well, I'll go grocery shopping one day
Hmm.
and then I make sure I have something to eat for that day. Sometimes that'll be my day where do get like a takeout, but usually it's sushi from
Okay.
from Publix.
Yeah.
So it's like it's takeout, but it's still from the grocery store.
Yeah.
So I feel like a little bit better about it, but it's like
Yeah.
it's not,
It's a treat.
it's a treat because,
Yeah.
and if I do that once a month, like when I
Oh
go
yeah.
grocery shopping,
Yeah.
it should be okay, I hope.
Fine. Yeah.
But I find like, when after I go grocery shopping, I don't want to do anything because we go grocery shopping for the whole month and I don't want to cook,
Oh, for the whole month.
Yeah, we do
Oh
it
wow.
in one shot because the way Noel works, um, usually it's 6 days a week, if not seven,
Wow.
and he's got the car, and also I'm not carrying all that shit by myself.
Yeah. In the
But
Florida.
yeah, thank God we live on the first floor now. But he so we just do it all in one shot, and then
Hmm.
usually the day after I start meal prepping. So then I'll I had the chili going in the crock pot.
Hmm.
Um, I had got a rice cooker. Um, and so I do like 8 cups of rice, like a
Oh wow.
huge thing.
Yeah.
Because as the rice, like the first day it's really good. The second day it gets a little dried out.
Yeah.
Um, but with chili, it has the sauce in it, so that's fine. And then like by the fourth or fifth day, it's perfect for fried rice. So it's always
Yeah.
like something you can do with it.
Yeah.
And then while that's going, I'm usually because those are things where you're throwing shit in the pot and you're turning it on,
Right.
with a crock
And you
pot and with a rice cooker. And then
yeah.
you just have to worry about how to fit it in the fridge later.
Yeah.
And then I have stock on the stove because throughout the entire month, all the bones that come from whatever I'm eating,
Yeah.
I put them in the freezer. And then if I'm cutting up vegetables, all the
Hmm.
like scraps, I put it in a plastic bag too.
Hmm.
And so like onion skins, carrot skins, the end of the celery, which you could replant, but I'm gonna try to start it from seed because it hasn't really worked out for me. I
Oh,
don't
okay. Yeah.
but, and, just any, like, scrap like that,
Yeah.
uh, even the herbs, like the parsley stems
Okay.
and the sage stems, you could do cilantro stems, but cilantro is not a very neutral flavor, you
No,
know?
it's very strong.
So I don't really put that in my stock because if you have too much, it tastes soapy.
Yeah.
Um, but so So all that stuff I save up all month, and then I put it all in a pot, and then you cover it with water, and you just boil the shit out of it, and that's how you
Oh,
make
wow.
stock.
Do you put
And
the veggies in the freezer as well?
yeah, I put not well the veggie scraps. So
The
like the
veg yeah,
peels.
the scraps.
Yeah,
You put
so I put that in the freezer as well.
okay.
And then once I have all that bones and the bag full,
Mhm.
usually at the end of the month, I put that in a big pot, cover it with water, and boil it on the stove, and that's how you make stock. So if you're making stock for, like I'll make beef stew or I'll make um, soup or roast or whatever,
Mhm.
stock at the grocery store is like between 3 and $5 a quart.
Yeah.
I just made 9 quarts of stock out of that. And I didn't have enough room in my freezer or my refrigerator, so I had to reduce it down to 4 quarts, and that kind of like intensifies it like a bouillon cube
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
So then you have to like add water to it later,
Right.
but like that's another way to like have storage and stuff.
Yeah.
But that like you're
That's
buying
awesome.
something that's made from garbage when
Yeah.
you buy stock.
Yeah. And it has preservatives in it.
Yeah, most of the time it has MSG in it.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah. What is it?
It's like the fucking people in the hallway. They're ridiculous.
They're like slamming on the walls.
So annoying.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
What are they doing though?
I don't know.
It sounds like they're dusting a carpet against the wall. Like they're just
It's a party every night. Every night. Every day.
oh.
Always. I don't understand. Like I've gone out there and been like, listen, like I told them, I was like, hey, I record the videos and stuff. Like, I know you're not trying to yell in the hallway and stuff, and it
Yeah.
just echoes. But
Yeah.
like, you don't have to answer your phone every day at 4:30 in the hallway. Like,
What are
you
you
don't
doing?
need to.
Yeah.
You like, there's just like etiquette. Like, I
Yeah.
don't make that much noise in the hallway. What are you doing? No point.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
They're funny.
I got off topic. So yeah, I have the rice, the chili, something in a crock pot, rice, stock. Um, Usually then I make like dinner. Um, and this time we had steak, which is like a sirloin cap.
Hmm.
Um, and then roasted asparagus in the oven, so a roasted vegetable.
Hmm.
And then we had that with the rice. And I made some beans, black beans, just because man, this Dominican guy over here has got me on rice and beans. It's so good.
Love your rice and beans.
I love rice and beans. Now I crave them.
Yeah,
So
no, they're
funny.
really good. I haven't been as much in my beans recently. I don't know why. Like I think I kind of just fell off the trend, I guess. I don't know. I just stopped making it as often. I think maybe I overdid it. I was making it too much. And then I
I used
stopped.
to, when I was a kid, I hated beans because it
Yeah.
was always like red kidney beans.
Yeah,
And like for a kid, that's like a lot of texture. Like
right.
the
And
thick,
they're not seasoned and
white people, man. But
so
yeah,
funny.
so it was like so thick, like the skin I remember, and it was like, oh, and it
Yeah.
smelled bad. Like it was like I remember like gagging when I would like smell beans. And then I never had black beans before, and they're really good. And there's these pigeon beans too.
Yeah.
Oh, these are some of my favorites.
Noodles.
Yeah, they're so good.
Mhm.
And
We put those in rice. We make those with rice.
yeah,
Like in the rice.
in the rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you kind of like steam it all together and it's like yellow rice with that in it.
Do you
And like
start with the canned or like the dry ones?
no, with those. You
With
can use
those?
yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
try
you
it out.
cook them and then you put them like you cook the rice a little bit in like the water or like you fry the rice a little bit, then you add the water, then you add or if you're doing like sofrito, like what you make the beans, you do that and then you add the beans as well. And sometimes my mom like cubes chicken and she puts all of that. So they got the gandules, the rice, the sofrito, and the chicken all kind of stewing together and then you put water in it and you cook it
That
like
sounds
that and it's like this
delicious.
whole meal. Yeah. And then she'll make like black beans or red kidney beans on the side and it's bomb. Super good. That's the types of meals that I remember growing up. It was like one pot dishes that were like cost effective, were really delicious, and was like a quick cleanup because it was all in one, 1, 2,
That's
3.
the best. You only have to wash one pot too. That's the real.
That's the
How,
genius.
yeah, that's how do I make it so I only have to wash like one dish?
One dish. I know.
That's,
It's always the struggle. But I
that's
think that
funny.
motivates you when it's not as arduous to clean up after a meal. I think it motivates you and it like helps making cooking for yourself a little easier. It's just trying to be more like mindful of how can I make this less of a process. Because I've cooked and I literally have destroyed my kitchen. And I made one like meal and I'm like, what did I do? I have like pots and pans and the cooking trays and then I'm
Well, the
like,
only
I don't want to cook.
yeah, the only reason I made the beans the other day is because I was like, I made the steak in the frying pan, and I
Ooh,
was like, the grease, like the juices and the fondants and stuff in the pan from the steak would just be like so good with the beans that I
yeah,
was like, I can't waste this and like not
yeah,
do anything with it.
yeah, yeah.
So then I threw the beans in with like some cilantro and onions and garlic and stuff, and I
They
was
were
just
probably
like,
so good.
oh my God, they're so good. I was just like, can't waste this, you know?
Kind of making me hungry. I didn't eat dinner.
Oh man. Oh, it's 9:30. All right.
Yeah,
We should wrap up
yeah.
probably and do this. Figure out how to. I guess
Make,
I'll figure out how to cut it out. I don't know how to do. There's got to be a way where it's like posted together. Like people do collaborations all the time, right?
yeah, I think that we both just get the file. I don't know how you would send it to me, but we both get the file and we post it individually on our channel, and then we like tag each other in the description. I don't know if that's how a thing. I don't really know how else you could share it.
I'm trying. I want to see if there's a way to do it with both. Like if there was a way to do it, so basically like, because if you post it and I post it,
Hmm.
like your people will watch it and get views, but I wonder if there's a way to make it so it's like one thing, because then you would, the video would, you get both views. You know what I mean? You get the view count of,
Oh,
but I don't think that's probably not, that's probably like cheater mindset. Like YouTube's
how
like,
can we
it's
move?
not that easy, Grace.
How can we finesse this? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I can look into it and see if there's a way to do that.
There's
But I know
gotta,
I've seen like collab videos and they're like, how have they done that? Like there's a way that they hold and they're like, go check it out on this person's channel. I don't really know. I have to
yeah.
look back and see.
Or maybe next time we do this, we should do like a live thing.
Oh my God, live? Oh
I
God.
know, it's so scary. I'm scared to do it live.
Yeah,
But
please. No, we need to
but
be able to edit.
I feel like, well, I feel like then we could have people ask us, like maybe there, like maybe there'll be questions that like we didn't cover talking here
Yeah,
that they'll be able to uh, ask if we do a live.
yeah. You have to let me build some confidence first.
You just gotta do it. You gotta jump
I'm
in.
not ready.
I'm not ready either. I got so many trolls.
Do you?
Oh my God.
Like
Yeah,
your
because I,
friends, family, or bad
no,
people?
just random people that I don't know. Like,
What? I
so you
haven't had
gotta,
one troll yet, but that's probably because my channel is like I've had 2 videos, so
you'll get one. That's when you know you're doing, you're like, all right, I could make it.
what
Because I
have they
got,
said?
well, my first trolls were, so the knife, okay, so I made a video about like how to sharpen a knife. And for some reason, it's like, I made not of it, like it didn't do well. Like I got the whole setup correct,
Yeah,
but when I made the video, I thought I knew how to sharpen a knife correctly, I guess. Because as a pastry chef, you have to take all the culinary classes first. And
right.
I was
Yeah.
top of my class in pastry. I
Mhm.
was salutatorian of the entire school. So that's second in the class out of all the majors.
Wow.
So like I'm like, I don't like I know how to do this. I don't need to look it up again and like
Yeah.
refresh my memory. Like I know how to do this. And that wasn't true. So I set up the whole thing and you know, I guess they just don't like when as a pastry student in the culinary class, they're not going to be as hard on you because as a pastry chef, like you don't use your knife as much as a culinary person. Like you're using the mixer, you're using I mean, if you're using a knife, usually you're cutting like a cake or something. So
Right.
you're like marking it out with rulers and you're like you do want a really sharp knife, but like you just don't you're using like a serrated knife, you're not using it like to chop really fine chives. Like
Right.
that's not what you're doing.
Right.
So because you're not using it as often, you're usually not sharpening it as often,
Right.
and usually you're most a lot of time you get your knives like sent out to get sharpened, especially if they're like,
Oh wow.
really nice knives, like so you don't
Yeah.
fuck it up. You have
Yeah.
professional like bladesmith do it.
God.
so um so I was just like, okay, I'm going to try to figure, just do it because I thought, oh, I learned how to do it this way, that must be the right way.
Hmm.
And so the technique I did was actually harder and didn't actually work as well, where you kind of like slide it
Yeah.
to get like the edge,
Yeah.
which I mean, I guess it does work, but it doesn't work as well.
Okay.
And really, you just have to go like back and forth. So I basically have to make like a redo video just to like correct that. But I got like all like people like threatening to cut me with their sharp knife.
Oh my God.
Like this bitch and like this bitch doesn't know what the fuck she's doing and like I had to like delete them for like harassment and
Oh my
like
God.
I had one person I left the comment up who like wasn't really like trolly and was more like informational, which
Yeah.
I appreciated.
Yeah.
But like I had like more than 10 comments of like this fucking dumb bitch. Shut the fuck up. She don't know what she's doing. And then like I didn't have any trolls. And then today I got another troll. It wasn't really that bad, but like you know, it's the same people that like in they're like trying to take down the Columbus statue in
Oh
Nutley.
yeah. Oh
So
God.
there's a lot of old Italian people that are not very nuanced.
Yeah.
So I had posted my video about like meat sauce
Yeah.
in the Nutleyites Facebook group because that's like a perfect place to post it.
Right.
And which by the way, Facebook groups are very good for getting subscribers and stuff.
Oh, cool. I'm
Um
not a part of any Facebook groups, I don't think.
yeah, I just started doing it. Sometimes it's not good because people are like sub for sub, like you subscribe to my channel, I subscribe to yours, and that's like
Yeah.
not worth it. Um but like if you can find groups that actually have people like interested in what you're talking about, then
Right.
that's good. Or even
Okay.
like the Nutleyites group, because I'm from Nutley, like that was good for just that particular
Video.
recipe, that video, because I was talking about like the families that actually like took me in and showed me how to cook and stuff that
Hmm.
were from Nutley. Um, I had this one fucking guy who he said, I don't know about this chef. Uh, she has because I had like yellowtail wine to
Uh-huh.
use in my sauce because
Yeah.
like I'm gonna use drinkable wine, but not expensive
Expensive.
wine to
Yeah.
cook with. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
So it was like yellowtail wine, highly questionable.
Oh my God.
She calls herself a chef, but she has yellowtail wine, highly questionable. And I'm just like,
Oh my
so I
God.
was gonna say something, and then I saw he posted on the thing about the Columbus statue about like the youth of like not knowing what the fuck they're talking about and being
Yeah.
uneducated. And
Yeah.
I was like, it just comes like
It's not worth it.
I was like, this isn't worth it. But I'm
Yeah.
just also, well, you drive me nuts, like, because Columbus, number one, he didn't sail for Italy. He sailed
Yeah.
for Spain. Number two, he killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, there's gotta be, but the thing is with the Italian Americans is that they needed to find like a historical figure that was going to show that they were white, basically, that they contributed to this country,
Mm-hmm.
because Italians and Irish people were looked down on as second class citizens for a very
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
And so they used Columbus as propaganda to get them into that higher class of citizen.
Yeah.
But then, so if you look on the Nutley website, it says that with Columbus is for anti-discrimination. And it's like, uh, but what about all the people that he had discriminated against? So, um, as a proud Italian American, like, I feel like we could pick, like, I'm sure there's some racist things about him, but like, Frank Sinatra was known not to play in clubs that wouldn't let Sammy Davis in the front door because he was
Yeah.
black.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure we could have an Italian pride,
Yeah.
but kind of pick someone who can represent it a little better.
Yeah. Who doesn't ignore all the other
Yeah, like, why would we do that? Like, why would, or
things?
you could put a clause on the statue saying, you know, telling the story of how we used him for propaganda. We didn't think he was a great Italian
Yeah.
before we, it pushed our class up, like,
Yeah.
but he didn't. The Italians didn't even want him. He had to fly for Spain. He had to
Yeah.
sail for Spain.
Yeah.
Get out of here! Like, oh,
It's just the lack of information. I think that like a lot of ignorance in
yeah,
what history is, and people just kind of are in denial. I saw that, and I saw some of the people, like the Italians, like screaming at the other people, and like the people that were on the side of Christopher Columbus, like protecting the statue, they were all screaming like racist slurs and
yeah.
just being very hostile. And then the other people were just standing there, like literally not saying very much. And I was like, wow, this is like really too intense. They were literally just like Black Lives Matter. They're standing there with their signs and not really like antagonizing them by saying things back to them about like dissing Italians. They were just there.
Well,
And it was,
many of those people were Italian.
I know, I know. It's just, yeah, I didn't go to that one. I went to the last protest, which was like about almost a month ago, just a little under a month ago, like 2-3 weeks ago. And it was really good. I was like thoroughly impressed with Nutley. I was like, damn, like we really showed up. Like really, I was like, wow. I was not expecting that. I thought it was going to be a small group of us because you just don't know what to expect really in this town.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, even growing up, like, hanging out with Noel and then hanging out with people that were white, like, I could see people being treated differently, and also just not being, having a twin brother
Mm-hmm.
and seeing the difference in how he was treating being a boy versus
Yeah,
how I was treating being a girl was way different. And
yeah,
also being a girl that was tough, like,
yeah.
I remember, like, Joe Johnson elbowed me in the face one day in gym class, just
Took me
because
down.
I wore my Naga shirt. I had just won a jujitsu competition,
Oh my God.
and he like and tried to pretend it was an accident. Like, like
Did you
they're
take me down?
no, because then the teacher was already coming over, and I was just like, I was literally standing by the bleachers talking to one of my friends, and he just started running towards me, and I was just like, why is he running towards me? Jumps up and boom, right in the face. And I was just like, ow.
I hope you got in trouble. Oh my
Not
God.
really. No, he didn't really get in trouble. No. I was like, what the fuck? There's just
That's
so many
terrible.
people that were terrible, or people that there were a lot of people that watched other people be terrible and didn't do anything
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So,
Which
yeah,
I think makes you just as bad because if you're going to stand to witness it, then you're part of the problem.
yeah. And I
Say-
feel like I always said shit
Yeah.
because I knew what it was like to get elbowed in the face.
Yeah.
Like, I knew what it was like to get made fun of, especially because of my brother who was so mean to me and got everyone else to be mean to me that, like, they were calling me Mr. Pimple in, like, 4th grade because I was like I had these terrible bangs, and I got pimples in, like, 4th grade because it was like, I was running around as a kid.
Yeah.
They called me Mr. Pimple. Got all the other kids in class to start, like, all the other boys to start doing that, and I was just like, I didn't wanna be. I was more mad that it was Mister, to be honest with you. Like, come on.
At least, miss.
Yeah. Come on. But, they're just, they didn't wanna be my brother was very good with his words, and I feel like they didn't wanna be the ones that were being made fun of, so it's easier just to keep making fun of me.
Yeah, redirect it.
Yeah, but
That's the hard thing with kids, I think. And even young adults, even adults, is that there are people that I'm just like, how old are you to be
yeah,
thinking and acting this way?
but
And
then
we're not taught better.
there's also a lot of, like, for me now, I think I get more exhausted too because, like, you see a person that's like that
Yeah,
and you just don't want to engage because you're not going to change their mind,
no,
but you feel like a lot of times you feel like you have to engage
yeah.
because how I think
Oh,
I always try to start from a place of, like, why do you think that, you
mm-hmm,
know?
mm-hmm,
Um, Whereas, like, is anything going to change your mind? Because if nothing's going to change your mind, I'm not going to waste my time. But, like,
right,
if like, what would it take to change your mind?
yeah,
But, especially being a flight attendant and, like, you meet everyone from everywhere,
yeah,
all different perspectives and stuff like that. So that was really an interesting part of the job,
yeah. I'm sure.
you know?
I'm sure. Different cultures and different perceptions on women, and
Yeah. And different, probably the most, like, the craziest thing for me in Florida is the, Latino Trump supporter.
I know those Cubans,
Yeah. Yeah.
Rubio. I know.
Or just the I'm like,
How?
and I would fly with a lot of them, and I was just like, but, like, you're telling me you're Cuban, or you're telling me you're Venezuelan, or you're telling me you're Nicaraguan or whatever, but to Donald Trump, you're all Mexican.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, you're all gone. You're all Mexican. You're all
yeah.
build the wall. Like, when they're talking about the wall, they're talking about you.
You too. I know. I don't understand that perception. I know Dominicans that are pro-Trump, and I'm just like, how the hell? In
But also, yeah,
in
the racism too. Like, between the Latinos, like, being a black, like, Noel being, like, a black Latino versus, like, a lighter skinned one. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, but you
Latin.
know, you're Latin. Like, you're
Yeah,
not, and that's interesting to me because Italian's basically Spanish. Like, and so for Italians to be so uppity that they're like white and whatever, like, you know, I don't understand how you go and then you speak Italian and someone hears you, but then you see someone else speaking Spanish to their grandma,
yeah,
and you're thinking that person's less than you.
yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know how
yeah,
that's possible. And knowing where their people came from, like you said, the
yeah,
Irish and the Italians were second-class citizens when they first came here.
yeah. It's like it's crazy. Like, the British enslaved the Irish and the Scottish when they took over. Like, you don't know your history at all if you think it's okay to enslave anyone,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
someone is less than, because it's just who, there's always going to be the oppressor and the oppressed.
yeah,
So now that we live in a society that's a little more like, we don't really have to kill each other anymore.
yeah.
We should think,
We
oh,
have our land. Let's just go about our lives.
yeah, like, maybe we should, okay, well, maybe we should, like, equal the playing field, like,
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
yeah. I know. let's hope things get better. I'll teach my kids. I think that's what it is. It's gonna be like what you teach your kids, as you bring them into the world, and like things. Hopefully, those racists will just die off. Is really what I'm hoping for, because I don't really think there's much to do to
That's what
change.
I thought, but I don't think so, man. I know a bunch of people our age that are fucking stupid. I think that it's and for me too, I think um it's gonna be a lot of it is gonna be improving the educational system in
Yeah,
the schools because there is a lot of things that even my mom says that I have to correct her on,
yeah,
not because like, she's not a racist person, but she doesn't know like some of the policies that like she talks about growing up. Oh, that was great. I was like, it was great for you.
yeah.
I was like,
Right,
you're not looking at the whole scope of things.
right,
And a lot of it is just because nobody told them there was another side. You know,
right.
they
Yeah.
just saw
We weren't
everyone.
exposed to it.
Yeah, oh, everyone has that.
Yeah,
Everyone came back from World War II and had, um, the GI Bill. Like that wasn't true for everyone. Like,
yeah, yeah.
so anyway, because we should do a point where like we cut all this shit out and then
And then we're right back to
and then we're
it.
right back to well,
Budget in the
something else. Budget in the kitchen. Um, so I guess we should sign off somehow.
Okay.
So
How do you normally exit your videos?
I want to start. What do you think about this? I want to say like thanks for coming over instead of like thanks for stopping
Yeah,
by. So this way it's like
yeah.
you're coming over.
At Grace's place.
Yeah, but I have to say Chef Grace's place, and it doesn't roll off the tongue because it's
Oh,
stupid. I don't understand. I have more videos, more likes, more everything than this fucking 7-year old and this other Asian girl who's like probably a freshman in college or something.
huh.
And more subscribers, and they still rank higher than me. So I had to change my name.
Oh, that's why?
Yeah, I had to change my name because it was like I had like 15 people above me, specifically those two though most of the time. Like every time if you search my channel,
Oh, I see. When you search just your channel.
yeah, it was like I didn't come up first, but now I come up first if you do Chef Grace's place.
Yeah.
But I'm just gotta like change everything over and try to say it, but it's like I don't like it.
Were you able to keep the same channel but just change the name, or did you have to start a whole new channel?
You can you just have to change the name on your Google account. Like that's all
Oh,
you gotta do. There might be a limit to like how many times or like in a certain amount of time, but
right.
and I had to give it it took like a week for it to like change the name.
Oh, wow.
And then still sometimes if you search um like sometimes if you search Chef Grace's place, the first name I had was Global Grace for NASA because I was going to be flying around.
Oh, I see.
And sometimes that comes up too. So I think it just all has to catch up with each other.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure it'll get there. But I didn't know that about um, how your name ranks. So I think you can still say thanks for coming over to Grace's place, but you can have at the whenever you sign out, you can have at the bottom like the little YouTube symbol, and then you can write at Grace's place. If you don't
Really?
want to say it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. It's good. But yeah. Yeah, I've been using that Catherine Manning. Sunny something is pretty good with the big hair. Sunny something. Some other white lady.
Sunny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um and she was good because I was trying to figure out how to like implement my Instagram with my YouTube, but honestly, I've never been big on social media.
Yeah,
So
me
I
either.
only have like I have like 400 followers or something on my social media,
Yeah.
not on my Instagram. But I had like over 1,000 friends because being a flight attendant, I was constantly adding people to my Facebook so I could use Facebook Messenger to talk to
Right.
people when we were in crews together. So I
Right.
had like way more Facebook friends, and also
Yeah.
because I've had that since like high school.
Yeah.
So there's like way more. I get way more people from Facebook than anything else. So I kind of
Yeah.
just, and it's duplicate too from the Instagram.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, I
So
think I need to link mine, but I posted both. But I did it separately. I would post to Instagram and then I'd post to Facebook.
yeah, I would have to do it separately, but I just found like I don't really have. I feel like when my YouTube gets bigger, it could actually help me grow my Instagram.
Yeah.
And I don't think my Instagram's gonna help me grow my YouTube.
Right. I hear you.
So, uh, but whatever. It'll work out, I guess.
Yeah, just all strategy. And just, I guess, sticking with it because I don't know. I'm behind. I wanted to post for this week and I don't have last week and I missed it completely. Hello. Talking to Grace.
Hi.
My boyfriend's here now.
Hi,
So I got
Hey, because we're taking too long.
my house is a mess.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
This is Grace. We went to high school together.
She's a chef, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Grace.
We watched some of your videos together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm like, come, let's chat. Let's watch a video.
How's my Aussie?
He's good. He's sleeping. You should take him out.
I will.
Yeah, there's a lot of little tricks with it. And the tags. Did you buy TubeBuddy?
No. How
No?
much is that?
I think I wound up paying like 40 something dollars for the whole year because they had like a lot of promotions when I signed up. But I think I have a referral link that'll save you like 20% or something.
Oh, that's pretty good.
But it's worth it for the keyword search thing,
Yeah.
for the tags, because you really have to try to like make your
Videos rank.
videos rank. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like, and that's what that girl Catherine uses too.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that. I
But
know.
I feel,
Sure. But I guess it makes sense to get
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's really worth it. It's not that much money.
Yeah. Because it's hard
Um,
to think of the tags. I'm like,
well, it's also like you think of tags and they don't, like a lot of it is like, it is something that someone would put in the search bar, but everyone else who has made a similar video to yours has also put it in a tag, so your
right.
competition is way higher.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to think of like what's something that someone would put in the search bar, but not everyone would think of as a tag.
Right.
So a lot of that is like things that are misspelled.
Mhm.
Like kind of
Oh,
like
wow.
sometimes I think like if I was like a 12-year-old,
Yeah.
how would I try to figure out, or if I didn't like for my pesto video,
Yeah.
a lot of my tags are like, what's the green Italian sauce?
Yeah.
You know, like things that were like, what's the green sauce people put on pasta? You know,
Oh,
and
I
then it's
see.
like pesto is the answer, and then my
Yeah.
video pops up.
Yeah.
So, or like, you know, and that's the same thing with like video, like what are you making videos on?
Mm,
So that's probably why that rolling pin one is doing so good, because there's
yeah.
not a lot of people with that video.
So simple, and people are looking for it. That's awesome.
And I just did that on a whim because I was like waiting for my dough to get cold or something like that, and my oven to preheat.
Yeah.
But yeah,
If it
for
works, it works.
finance, I think that's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, it is. And the DIY, it's a lot of prep and like weeks of preparation and actually doing stuff because you have to wait for things to dry and then you have to sand them and and then I'm working and it's harder.
What kind of DIY are you doing?
So I'm working on one where I already finished it. I filmed it. It's like a geometric wall that I painted and
Okay.
it looks really cool, and then I'm like staging it. So I made my own like I made a faux shelf that I put above the door, and I'm like putting like plants in like a basket and just making it, staging it for people love all that HDTV type.
Are you doing staging for like Realty?
Yeah, I do staging.
So like videos on how to do it?
Oh no, I want to.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
good
want
idea.
to. I'm gonna do a video on like how to prepare for an open house, or like how to prep your house for sale, and I'll use my house or a house that I'm selling as like the stage of, you know, how it looks and all in the process and all that. But again, that takes, you know, I don't know. I have to figure out a better way to make a deadline every week where I post at least something, because I fucked up last week.
Yeah. Well, I also wouldn't, be too hard on yourself for that. I think
Yeah,
I did that.
I want to quit my job though.
I know, me too.
I want to quit
Oh,
my
well,
job
I don't
so
want to need
bad.
to find a new one.
Yeah, I want to quit my job so bad. So I'm like, I have to just do what it takes.
What's
So
your regular job?
I work as a territory manager in like the construction industry.
What does that mean?
So I work in the wholesale side of a manufacturer who sells and produces flooring.
Okay.
So, and I go around and I speak with like designers and architects, and I sell them my flooring for specific projects like restaurants or, office spaces or hospitals, whatever.
Territory. It sounds like you better use our flooring.
Yeah, right. I feel like I'm in the mafia,
Yeah.
but I'm in Brooklyn, I'm in Queens, Manhattan, and then they just gave me a territory in New Jersey. So
That's
I
at
want to
least
fuck
it's not. At least New Jersey, you don't have to
go
go
all the way to
over.
New York. Yeah, but it's not easy. It's not fulfilling in any way.
No, doesn't sound like it.
It's really not. It just pays the bills, and you know, it helps me save, and I can buy. I can apply for mortgages because I have, a
A
W-2
job.
employment. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're like, okay, I'll lend her money. So
Yeah.
that's the only reason why I've kept it around as long as I have. But I'm just trying to figure something else out. I need to figure something else out.
Yeah. I gotta figure out what job I can get that is going to be help me grow this. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking but that's the thing, the jobs, they don't pay that much money. I wish, hopefully Servitab comes back with classes, but that was part-time to begin with.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I'm thinking grocery store, get discount on groceries.
Yeah.
Maybe Home Depot. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I
And
know
that's
Home Depot and Lowe's, they pay pretty decently.
not down here. It's starting with 10.75 or something.
Mm.
But apparently the health insurance is really good.
Or Starbucks. Starbucks has good
Noelle
benefits.
worked for Starbucks for 8 years.
Yeah.
So
No.
maybe, I don't know, maybe, but it doesn't, um, I mean, it's food industry, but it doesn't, if I do work at a grocery store, I get a discount on food that I can use for my videos.
Right.
If I get at Home Depot, I get a discount on all the hardware stuff for the gardening, or
Right.
I have to think of it in that kind of sense.
Right.
Whereas if I get I love Starbucks, and I was spoiled for
Oh
years
my
because Noelle would just bring me free Starbucks all the time. Now I just try to save money on that and just try to
Yeah.
drink it out of the coffee pot. And I'm just like, I want a latte.
I make it at home, honey. I make it at, they have those Spanish, they're like these little Spanish coffee pots. They're Italian actually. Ever seen them? The
The
silver.
percolator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know which one I don't know which one you've seen, but like this one is like really popular in all the Spanish houses.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's got the thing on the bottom and then it boils, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's percolator, so it's called.
Okay. So I put all my espresso in that, and I just
Yeah, that's for espresso, but I
yeah.
can't if I drink that much espresso, I'm not gonna
Really? Oh
be like,
shit.
oh.
I'll literally have like a whole thing throughout the day.
I've limited myself now to 2 cups of coffee a day,
Okay.
but
I'd do the same.
it's hard because it's especially when I was a flight attendant, it's
Oh yeah.
okay, awake, coffee, asleep, melatonin.
Oh,
like so, yeah. So I
that's
gotta
crazy.
I'm finally just getting back into the
Normal sleeping.
circadian rhythm.
Oh my god. Well, it's worth a shot for both of us to give it our all, I think,
Oh yeah.
because
And I want to just like for now because I don't have a job, I just want to like film because I feel
yeah.
like I can do editing, but if I have a lot of video in the bank, it's easier
Mhm.
just to sit down and edit shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which you gotta check out Adobe if you can.
I know. It's
It is
expensive.
it's another expense for sure. It's
$400.
no, they don't do that anymore. I wish. It's $52 a month.
Oh, fuck that.
But actually no. That's I think that's for everything. So that's for Premiere Pro, Photoshop, the Creative Cloud, like everything. But
Oh,
there's something else that is where if you just want one of them or something.
yeah.
Um
I don't want anything reoccurring.
yeah, but that's what they do now. That's all you get. Even with fucking Microsoft Office is
Really?
yeah, is a subscription based
Hurts.
platform now. So I just use Google Docs and everything now 'cause it's free.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'll stick to
but
iMovie.
yeah, and also like InDesign because I wrote the book, like that's
Yeah,
part of the Adobe thing. So
that helps.
that's worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lower subscription fee.
Yeah. I'll look into it. Definitely look into it. I mean, I was fighting with myself to buy more storage on my iCloud. It was like $1.99, and
No,
I was annoyed with it. I was like, "This is
don't do
bullshit."
that.
Yeah.
Google Photos has so much storage. All my
Oh,
shit
okay.
goes like everything in Google is like free.
Yeah, I know. I use Google Docs. I use a spreadsheet
Yeah,
because that's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm sure they make enough money off all our information.
Yeah. Just give it to me for free.
Yeah. So, but
All right. Well, how should we exit? I don't know. How do you know? Oh, so you do your thing. I
okay.
don't.
All right. So say okay. Just want to say should I just say Janita or G?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay. So okay.
Whatever works.
Well, we learned a lot about kitchen budgeting today, so I just want to say thanks to Giannina for coming over, and come over again soon.
I shall. Thanks for having me.
And don't forget to tell everybody what the name of your channel is, where they
It's
can
my
find you.
full name. I think you're better off linking it because they'll never spell it right. It's Giannina Viruet,
Okay,
and it's long.
that's not that long.
I don't know.
Um, I'll link it though, definitely. It'll be in the description below,
Yeah.
and so Janina's going to be coming on to talk about personal finance. If you have any questions for either of us, put them in the description below. And thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Okay, bye.